Hi friends, in this video I'm going to share top 10 best practices for a software developer. An effective software developer should write always JUnit test cases for the actual code. Actually speaking, you should start with JUnit test cases, then you should write the actual code. As per TDD, test driven development, it will be really good if you can write and know how to write the JUnit test cases, because it is automated to spend a lot of it needs a lot of time to test your actual code, but it need resources also to test your actual code. So JUnit test cases are automated, so it will take less time. So please write JUnit test cases. A software developer should run the entire build after a new code check-in or end of the day. So you are responsible to run the entire build and ensure that there are no compilation issues or any failures. So please run the entire build after the new code checked in or at the end of the day. So please take the responsibility. Reduce your complaints about things around you. Think about the solution. So there might be resource issues. You don't have a VM machine, or you don't have a hard disk space, or you don't have such some tools. So don't reduce the complaints and think about how can you improve it, how can you get it done. Okay, instead of having a list of complaints, complaint is fine, but immediately start thinking about the solution. Do not lose an opportunity to present your work to your manager. Does not matter it's a small or a big, but your manager should be aware of what to do. If there is an issue, we can find early as a team. So don't think it's a small big issue. You have to inform the team and your manager, so that as a team you can avoid surprises. Always check in your code. Never place your code locally. Never say I'll do it tomorrow. Please use the SVN repository or ClearCase, whatever your organizations has. Please check in, because you don't know, you might lose the code later and all your hard work is gone. Always have a branch code for the current release, because there might be some production issue. When it comes, you can do the fix in the branch and you can release it in the later point of time. So always having a branch code is really good for the current release. Find new tools and techniques to speed up your development activity. New debugging tool, it might be a new remote machine connection tool, a comparison tool where you can compare the source codes and folders, and I would say searching tool, and analyzing a log file. You can find out new tools and techniques. FTP tool for transferring files to remote machine. Also testing software changes is a must. So you did a small change, even if it's a comment, you have commented out some lines of code, you should test. So testing the software change is a must. That's what I want to I'm trying to say. No time, I'm busy, never compromise. Please do it. Change just a comment, still you have to test it. Change just a variable name, testing has to be done, because it might break or it might show an compilation issue or any other issue, because you would have written JUnit test cases, it might fail. So just do it, just test it. Removed unwanted methods, still test it. Dead code also, if you have removed, test it. If you feel it's simple change and no need of testing, later you will suffer and it's too dangerous. Software bugs are your enemies. If you find one bug, enjoy the moment and continue your great testing. So consider every software bug as an enemy. So your product should have an excellent quality, in the sense the way you have written the code and the way it performs. So whenever you find a bug, enjoy and continue your great testing. Before sending your code to senior developer for code review, please check the below list. Have you applied object-oriented principles to your code? Single responsibility principle, and there are different types of principles. Not following the standard. Have you not followed the standard? Not keeping the software performance in mind. When you write the code, have you kept the performance in mind? History, indentation, comments are not properly done, so please correct it. Readability of the code is very poor. You check yourself whether anyone can understand this code. Open files are not closed, resources are not closed. Allocated memory has not been released. Too many global variables. Why? What is the reason? Because the reviewer is going to ask you questions. Why we have a global variable? Will there be any security issue? too much hard coding rather than reading from the property file or the DB. Poor exception or error handling in your coding. No modularity. You have written all the functionality in a single file, so no modularity. Check that. Repeated code or duplicate code. If the code is already available, try to reuse it. Don't write on your don't have duplicate methods within your package. No appropriate genuine test cases or code coverage. Method inputs are validated appropriately. Check that. Too many lines of code in a single method. It might be confusing while debugging or while trying to understand the code. It might be confusing because it contains too many lines of code. Not tested all possible scenarios. Mark the variable as public rather than accessing from getter method. So I've given very few list items where you can check before you send your code to the senior developer for code review. This is the points I've collected. Hope these points are useful. Thank you and all the best.